when we're using a swish technique, rather than just do it by rote and think, oh yeah, that's an NLP technique and this is the way you do it, break it down. Work out what exactly you are doing there. Really what you're doing is using all the submodalities to say to the mind, not this, I want this, not this, I want this, and we're doing that swish to reinforce what that person wants now, so that they go more towards that and away from their behaviour as they've had before. So in your mind, break it down exactly what you're doing. You know, many people, if they haven't gone through an NLP course, they might read it in a book and think, oh, this seems easy, I'll just follow it as it is, but they don't really understand completely that we are using all the submodalities, so visual, auditory, kinesthetic, to get that person to start to experience what it can be like of what they've said that they want to achieve. So you said that you want to achieve, well, feeling healthier, being healthier, but since you've retired, you find that at night time you're eating loads of biscuits and cake and stuff like that, and then waking up the next day not feeling so good, a few drinks and things like that. So you described it as getting into bad habits, and what you wanted to do was to break those habits so that it seemed very easy for you to just eat your normal food, have little treats from time to time, but not sit there eating a whole packet of biscuits.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is to close your eyes. And it's much easier for a client, well, I think so anyway, that they are in a kind of trance state. Because if you just ask them to close their eyes and then start off with this technique, they're very aware of the sounds inside or outside a building. So let's get them really focusing in on what you're asking them to do. Because any techniques that we're using with a client, they are instructions for that client. And of course we want to know that they're following those instructions. The worst thing is that a therapist is going through this technique and the client is not sure about what to do, but just pretending because that's what they think they've got to do. So it shouldn't be about what the therapist thinks that the client should or could do. It's about knowing what they are able to do. And of course some people cotton on really quickly to this kind of technique and they're doing it really quickly, and other people, maybe they're a bit less visual, so it takes them a little time to be able to fully understand what they're expected to do. So I'd like you to just allow yourself to relax a little bit more deeply. And imagine by me counting from 10 down to 1 that you allow yourself to go into a nice state of relaxation, such a state whereby you're aware of what's going on around you, but it doesn't really matter. Any of those sounds are really immaterial to you, because the only sound that you really want to hear is the sound of my voice. And so if I was to count right away down from 10 down to 9, and then 8, and allowing yourself to sink down, really relax, let go, give yourself the permission to really enjoy the experience of letting go. And I don't know whether you're completely comfortable where you're sitting now. Maybe you feel really comfortable, or maybe you want to sit back. It's whatever is right for you, that's good. And then from 7 to 6 and 5, and then 4 and 3, 2 and 1. And any time that you'd like to relax a little bit more deeply, that's right, you just take that nice deep breath in just as you have, almost like a sigh, and then let yourself go so that your whole body feels nice and comfortable, nice and relaxed. Now you know you want to get over that kind of behaviour that you've had before, because you know it's not healthy for you. You've said that. You don't feel so good, you don't sleep so well, you wake up the next day feeling a bit groggy from all the sweet stuff, all the carbohydrates that you've been eating. And so you've realised that it's time to make some changes in your behaviours. So what I'd like you to do right now is I want you to imagine that you've got a TV screen in front of you. And I don't know in your mind whether it's one of those huge plasma screens or a fairly small screen, doesn't really make any difference. But on that screen, there's an image of you in colour with some of those foods. It might be the chocolate you talk about, or cake, or whatever, and it's coming up towards your mouth, but you've got a look on your face as if to say, well, I know I want it, but actually it's not really what I want. So that kind of look that would say, shouldn't really be doing this. Because you'd also told me that when you have eaten those foods, you feel really guilty. So maybe you've got a guilty look on your face too. So I want you to get that pretty clear, so it's almost that you can feel that cake is, or whatever it is that you're eating is coming up towards your mouth. And so that I can know that you're going to follow all the instructions I'm giving you now, I just want you to let one of your fingers on one of your hands lifts up, because that's a really good way for me to know that you are doing what I'm asking you to do without having to speak or to break that relaxation. That's good. All right, so let's call that an old picture, an old behaviour, the old way that you've been before. And then what I'd like you to do is to push that picture, that TV screen off. Maybe you want to push it off to the left. And then I want you to create another TV screen in front of you. And on this picture, I want you to put an image of you in black and white, but you looking healthier, looking fitter. And one of the things that you said was, if you stop sitting in at night and eating those kind of foods, you might like to think of joining a club or something else that keeps your mind occupied and focused. And I don't know what that might be, and it might even be now that your unconscious mind is presenting you with an image of you being somewhere or talking to people, or you might even be at home doing something. But you look relaxed and calm and happy, and you're looking a lot healthier than you've ever looked before. Might even be that you're waking up. There's an image of you waking up, looking really refreshed, looking forward to the start of the day. So really get that image really clear, still in black and white, but really clear now. And when you've got that image, again, give me that signal and let me know. Good. All right, so what I'd like you to do now is shrink this new image down into a little dark square. And I want you to bring the old image back from where it was and put the new image, that little dark square, in the top right-hand corner of the old picture. And again, when you've done that, let me know. Good. All right, now in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3 and make this sound swish. And in the time that it takes for me to count and make the sound, I want you to allow those two images to change places. So the new image becomes big in front of you and the old image becomes that little dark square. So get ready for them to change, and you'll let me know when they have changed by giving me that signal again. 1, 2, 3, swish. Good. All right, put them back the way they were before. And then let's do it again now. 1, 2, 3, swish. Good. Put them back the way they were before. Now we're going to do this a number of times so that your mind gets really good at doing this. 1, 2, 3, swish. Good. Put them back the way they were before. Now this time, what I'd like you to do is to make that sound inside your mind, so it's a quiet sound, swish, and there's the new image again. Put them back the way they were before again, swish. There's the new image again, and you keep repeating it until you begin to notice that the old picture, that old image, starts to neutralize and disappear, break up. And no matter where you look, it's just completely gone. And only when that happens and you have the new image there, then you can give me that signal and we will continue. So continue now. Good, excellent. All right, so now the new image is there. Make it bigger, make it brighter. Now turn the sound up. Hear your voice sounding happy and confident. You've overcome a problem that you had in the past. And of course you want to make those changes now, haven't you? So now what I'd like you to do is to step into that image. So be in there now. And as you're looking out through your own eyes, you're feeling how good you feel. You can see what you can see and hear what you can hear. And feel those feelings of feeling good, and go out now into a future where maybe you are sitting at home, but you've had a meal, you feel satisfied, you feel full. You don't need to eat, you don't want any more, you don't need it. That feels really good. And when the time comes that you might want a treat or two, you feel happy and satisfied that you can have that. And that's enough for you. It feels that it's enough. Go out further into your future. Maybe you have joined things now. Maybe you are making the most of your time. Really feeling good. Knowing that you've overcome a problem that you once had, but now your mind knows what you need to do, and now you just do it. Good. So coming back to this present moment in time now. Allowing your unconscious to absorb all of this new information. And I'll just count from 1 to 3 and you'll come back to an awareness again. 1, 2, and 3. Good. Okay.
Good.
Did you find that was easier the more that you did it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty quick, really.
Yeah, oh good, excellent. Good. And so here we've allowed the client to keep swishing it themselves, because normally in NLP books, you know, they may recommend 4 or 6 times, but how do we know if that client is getting rid of that old image? Because certainly over my years in practice, some clients have said, well, it just kept coming back again. So I thought it was far easier to let the client tell me when that old image had disappeared. So that whole thing of saying this but not this over and over again, eventually the old picture begins to disappear, or using that word neutralize, and only the new picture is remaining. And that's when the client can step into that image and fully associate themselves. So they're feeling good with themselves, feeling confident with themselves, and we're future pacing the client to some of the things that they've talked about before, what they want to do and what they want to achieve in the future.